Chicago, like all big city airports, is a busy place with people coming. It's his job to see that everything runs smoothly at the gate, like just now. Joan and Judy Allen and their dog Skippy are taking their first plane trip alone to San Francisco. The passenger supervisor opens the gate for the girls and their grandparents ahead of time, so that they can get acquainted with their plane and their stewardess before other passengers arrive. Grandpa Allen's a little worried about the children traveling alone.
You see, Mrs. Allen and I just can't make the trip to San Francisco.
Their parents just found a house out there and quite naturally want the children with them.
There's really no problem, Mrs. Allen. We have children traveling by themselves all the time. Oh, and by the way, I'd like you to meet Miss Gilso, your stewardess for the trip.
How do you do, Gilso? It'll be fun having them on board. Say, it looks like we've got an extra passenger here. Oh, but she'll be no trouble. Well, she'll be no trouble at all, except that we can't take her in the main cabin. However, if she has a ticket, I think we can find room for her.
Skippy will travel in a special room right under the pilot's cabin. This box, or kennel, is made for dogs and cats that fly in planes. It's comfortable, and during the flight keeps them from running around. It's time to say goodbye to Skippy and to give one more hug to grandmother and grandfather so that Miss Gilso can take Joan and Judy to their seats before the other passengers arrive. One more goodbye to grandfather and grandmother. Then Joan and Judy turn to the many interesting sights at the busy airport. So many things happen so quickly. Passengers board the plane, mechanics check and service the engines, then load luggage on the plane, and mail, air mail for San Francisco. Here comes the flight engineer of the plane. He's been checking the engines. When he comes in, the plane's usually ready to go. Through the window, Joan and Judy can see the tower at the top of the airport. It's called the Air Traffic Control Tower. The control tower is set up high so that traffic officers can see all the planes through the windows. Their job is to direct traffic at the airport.
Air traffic control to flight 701. Clear for takeoff.
And here is the pilot replying.
Flight 701 to traffic control. Roger. Clear for takeoff.
The plane is ready to leave. Before takeoff, passengers must fasten their seat belts. Miss Gilso helps the girls to fasten their seat belt. Seat belts make the takeoff safer. Just before takeoff, the pilot gets his final flight orders this way. And the passenger agent gives the go-ahead signal. It's called the all-clear salute. Okay, says the pilot, and off she goes. First, very slowly. Then picking up speed. And soon the wheels leave the ground and are pulled back into the body of the plane.
Oh, look, we're flying, we're flying.
Soon they're high over the Chicago airport. The plane's climbing fast. The four engines are turning at full power. Each one of these engines has as much power as a locomotive. A plane needs a lot of power to lift all the passengers, their luggage, and the mail off the ground and to keep them up in the air. Soon the plane is above the clouds. Now everybody can relax and read a magazine or otherwise enjoy the pleasant flight. Over the loudspeaker, the captain welcomes the passengers aboard.
We're going to fly non-stop to San Francisco at 16,000 feet. We expect to be in San Francisco on schedule.
Captain Mills, his first officer, and the flight engineer sit in the cockpit of the plane. The cockpit is full of flight instruments. Take a good look at all these instruments. On the busy air lanes, the pilot can fly safely with the help of these dials. The instruments always tell the pilot the position of his plane.
you like to have some lunch, girls?
Yes. Oh, yes, yes.
And while the plane flies over the green farmlands of the Middle West, Miss Gilso prepares lunches for her passengers. Here's one for Joan. See how everything's neatly arranged on the tray? Meat, vegetables, milk, and dessert. Joan's enjoying her lunch. And while the passengers eat, the plane continues its speedy journey over the Great Plains. Airplane seats are comfortable. You can push the backrest down and curl up in the chair.
Do you girls want a nap?
No, thank you.
Many passengers like to take afternoon naps, but Joan and Judy have too much to see. Here comes the captain of the plane. He likes to meet his passengers. Now Joan and Judy are glad they didn't take a nap because Captain Mills has a surprise for them. A junior stewardess pin. Joan and Judy say thank you. Look now, says the captain, we're flying over Denver. There's the Capitol. It has a roof of gold. Joan wonders who's flying the plane while the captain chats with them. Don't worry, says the captain. The first officer's flying the plane. Just now, he has a message for the passengers.
This is First Officer Jennings. I hope you're enjoying your flight. Look to your right. We are about to cross the Continental Divide.
We call the Continental Divide a line of high mountains which separates rivers that flow to the east from those that flow to the west. Miss Gilso thinks that a little walk through the plain will make a pleasant change for Joan and Judy. She's taking them to the lounge in the tail of the plane. Joan finds a map on the table. Please, Miss Gilso, she asks, show us where we are now.
We are exactly here.
Joan looks out and sees only clouds below the plane. She wonders how pilots can find the airport in cloudy weather, at night, or in fog. The stewardess tells her that there's a very special instrument to help pilots land at night or in bad weather. When the plane comes close to the airport, radio beams move these two bars that form a cross. They tell the pilot which way to go to the landing field. Radio signals guide the plane down almost as if he were gliding down a sloping highway. Meanwhile, in San Francisco, the traffic officer is all set to guide Captain Mills to his runway. Joan and Judy's parents are at the airport well ahead of time. The passenger agent assures them that their girls will arrive on schedule. Our plane is already over the Golden Gate Bridge on the way to the airport. Soon it's flying high above the suburbs. Now Joan and Judy know how to fasten their belts all by themselves. Lo, they see the city of San Francisco, where their new home will be from now on. Joan and Judy can scarcely wait to see their father and mother. And here's the airport. Slowly and carefully, the airplane approaches the ground. And soon the wheels touch the runway. A moment later, the door of the plane opens, and out come Joan and Judy running to meet their parents. And here comes Miss Gilso with Skippy.
Goodbye, Joan and Judy. You were wonderful passengers.
So ends the first airplane trip for Joan and Judy. Now they understand better why people say that we live in an air age.